Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Sweezy's World. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Uh, Hope everybody's having a great day. Kind of just wanted to talk. Don't you think that the world is in major turmoil? I mean, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Uh, Seems to me that we're in a world of sort of kind of deep kimchi. Uh, what about here in the United States? I mean, how close are we to having possibly a civil war? Think of this for a minute. What would happen if several states in this country decided to band together and separate from the government? Separate from the United States, become whatever they wanted to be. What would happen? Uh, what would the United States look like if that happened? Uh, what side of the fence would you might be on? Uh, so I just wonder how close we are by watching the news, listening to what's going on, being very much aware of what's going on, even in your own city, because we have anarchy, not just in Minnesota. We've got anarchy going on in several cities and several states. Uh, Now, it's anarchy. People who are pretty close to rebellion, maybe. The government may see it that way. I mean, don't you think? Uh, I'm just unsure, what the actual future is going to, entail if some of these states do succeed, do go against the government. And what happens if the president does put in the Insurrection Act and bring in the regular army and the regular Marines into these cities, foregoing the National Guard of each state, because, maybe the National Guard of each state, as far as the government's concerned, maybe they can't be fully trusted. I don't know. Uh, I just wonder what this place would look like. What would it look like in your state, wherever you live? How would that affect you in buying food and groceries and going to and from work if you're working? How would that affect you? You know, uh, I think it would be the very last part of some of the prophecies that's been foretold, that America has no real place in true prophecy. I mean, it's kind of lean to mention a wee bit, but it's not really there. Along with England, uh, Britain, they're not really that involved in the future prophecy as far as you know what's going to happen in each country. So, like I said, are we not on the cusp of a major change in the world itself? Because we're having issues all over the world. I mean, yeah, you got Ukraine, and you got the Middle East, and we got what some stuff going on in Iceland. You got Greenland. You know, I just wonder, you know, where the future lies sooner rather than later. Okay, because things are going to happen probably, and they're already happening. I mean, we can already see it happening. It's already happening now. Uh, like I said, we have anarchy in our streets. People who hate this country, people who hate our way of life, they hate it. You know, so I always ask myself, why are you here? If you don't like it, go somewhere else. But that's me. But what's it going to be like when all this kind of comes to a head? And it could come to a head rather soon. You know, uh, it could come. In fact, I believe this is my own view, is that it's going to come faster than we expect it to. It is. Maybe some of us are thinking 2 and 3 years away. I don't think so. Uh, I think we could have a lot of problems this year, and we could be thrown into a universal anarchy even around the world. Yet along here in this country. This country is so fractured and there's so many different points of view, and half of those points of view hate conservatism. They hate America. They hate our way of life. And so they're trying to destroy it. They're trying to get into religion. Look what they just did to a church, in Minnesota. I mean, give me a break, man. It's a church. Leave it alone. If you got those kind of problems, then you do have some kind of problems. And we as a people have some kind of problems. I mean, that's my opinion. So I was just curious, kind of what you thought. Because, things are tumbling pretty fast. And as each day progresses and each week progresses, it's happening faster and faster. And biblical prophecies, they're coming true. And a lot of them have already came true. So what do we do? What do you think? How would you feel? What would you feel? I mean, what side of the fence would you lay on? You know what I'm saying? We end up on. Maybe let me know in the comments if you like any of this. Appreciate it. This is something that we have deeply concerned about. It's deep, deep concern about. And if you're not concerned about it, I don't know, you need to be concerned about it. Because we live here on this earth. At the very end, the Lord will come back and things will be the way they're supposed to be. But for now, we have to go through turmoil. And I think we're going through more turmoil as each week comes on. And there's just not a lot that we can do to change it, really, unless, we physically get in there and change it, But government bringing in federal troops, I think that's a big time reality. I think he's going to declare the Insurrection Act. And I think he's going to do that, because they are doing an insurrection. They're trying. They're doing everything they can, and they're fighting against federal troops. They're talking about doing all kinds of stuff, these anarchists in streets and stuff. And, they keep growing by numbers day by day. So keep that in mind, all right? And then until the next time, we'll have a continuation, some talks and stuff like this. I appreciate y'all being here. I really do. Thanks for coming. And it's something to think about, okay? I mean, that's something big time to think about. Let me leave you with this, all right? Those of you who stayed with me, let me just leave you with this. The Lord has established his throne in the heavens, and his sovereignty rules over all. That's Psalms 103:19. So until the next time, it's nothing but love for you, and we'll talk to you later.